All right. So, man, as I said at the beginning of the show, this has been a really transformative time period. I started off the week. We had, I released the Atmosphere 2 video. That was great. And then I immediately had a wonderful conversation with my new friend, Dash Glitch. It was so cool to talk to him. We collaborated. We just basically talked about the future. And we talked about what the world would be like that was full of possibilities. And it was a really, it was just one of those moments where I'm like, man, this is it. Like, for him, he's been doing this for years. For me, I've been doing this for years, but in a different context. And when we collaborated together, it was like jumping off point. On into the future we go. It was a great conversation. So, building off of that, I felt like I needed to apologize for not being as present online as I have been, but this is the season. I have been deep, and when I mean deep into the mixing and the production of my new album. And those periods for me are like moments where I really have to focus. If I pull my focus away, I'm gonna lose track of the ultimate goal, which is finishing it and bringing out something. It's almost like giving birth to something. And that's what the time period that we're in is all about. It's like you're literally reaching down into the depths of your soul to pull out something brand new so you can bring that gift to the world. And that's what this has been for me. I'm happy to say that now I'm on the other side of that. At least I've got the mixes like at a point where I feel like they're almost done. They're in a playlist. I can listen to them. I can take them in the car with me. I'm really excited. So a lot of good things coming up. We have a album premiere. The trilogy of Transponder is completing this Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Join us on the Sinfera Records channel. If you don't follow that channel, it's a channel where we do live premieres and stuff of our albums, so check it out. Anyway, so I thought today it's time for me to come back, and you know, when you listen to these Signs of Life streams, you know what you're getting into. These are special. These are very special live streams. So in honor of that, I do have a syllabus planned for today. We're going to talk about modulation in ambient music. Why is modulation important? Now, the reason why I feel like I can speak on this topic is I am someone who used to just, there's vocal distortion still. All right, let me turn down the mic. I'm so sorry. I want to get this right for you guys. And I'm a sucker for audio quality. I really do not want it to be like back quality. You know what I'm saying? All right, if that's any better, let me know. I lost my train of thought. But that's all right. Oh yeah. I am someone who I came from just slapping a filter on it and calling it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like I would just take a pad and I would put a filter on it and that would be it. And it was like, then I started to dive deeper into those waters of like, well, what about the expression? What about the expression of all that? What about like, you know, like the nuance? Now I'm someone who I can't even like leave a patch without the modulation matrix like fully maxed out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't even like, I gotta fill out all the slots. Cause I really feel like the expressiveness in my music is now able to translate, you know, because I'm taking control of the modulation aspect. I'm really sorry about the audio quality, guys. This is throwing my whole stream off, but is that good? Are we at a good level now? Are we at a good level? All right, well, if the sound quality is shitty, you know what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna be the only ones to see the stream, and it's gonna get deleted. So enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. You know? Enjoy the moment. All right. So anyway, let's get on with the syllabus. Let's get on with the show. Here we go. So the importance of modulation cannot be overstated. And that means that you can't emphasize it enough. It's so important. Add expression, depth, and infuse creativity with modulation. And I hear a lot of ambient music that doesn't have that modulation aspect, right? There are so many things that you can do with modulation that really bring out character, and that's the whole point, is character. When we talk about the higher levels of ambient music, you talk about the refinement of the sound. Because you can give me a mix, and it might sound like, oh, that's good, but then there are so many edges that are just completely rough, and they're falling off, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it really, what is it that takes ambient music that's here and brings it up here? And we're gonna talk about that today. Because I feel like my taste and my aesthetic level is really high. So when I hear something that's not up there, I go, well, what is it that makes it not up there? And then my mind goes, okay, well, if you just did this, this, and this, and this, and then it would get up there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what modulation can do for you. But in a subtle way. That's the trick about ambient music. It's not just throwing an LFO on something, because if you throw an LFO on something, it's too fast, too much. You really have to be mindful of these things. And this is what I've been doing with the new record I've been making, is I've been drawing these automation curves, and I've been like, wait a minute, like what if I did it like this and like this? And it's really brought out some life into the music. And so we're gonna try to do that today. Long, slow moving glacial LFOs. Do you know what I mean by glacial? I mean like whoosh, whoosh. The glacial LFOs can be drawn in the DAW, are sometimes just as effective as the native ones. A lot of times the native LFOs don't really have that capability of going like 16 bars, 32 bars, even 64 bars. But if you take a modulation curve and make it an actual curve, not just a slope or a ramp, you can draw something out as long as you want. And that one sequence combined with velocity can be a slow and evolving sequence that goes over time. You see what I'm saying? Like, so you can do it in your DAW through the automation lane, and sometimes that's just as good as doing in the sound design phase. Fair enough, right? So we can make a sequence on top of this that would start at one point, and then it would eventually evolve. And by the time you reach the end, you're still at the same sequence, but because you made a slow evolving thing and you let the velocity sort of like peak out and peek through and evolve with it, that's what I'm talking about. You can use different shapes, all right? And you can also think about the arrangement, how to polish your sound using modulation techniques, and we're gonna talk about that today, all right? So, without even getting into the rest of the syllabus, let's just start here. This is where I started, and this is just a basic start, but I wanna showcase some of the ways that you can use modulation. And Wave Sequencer's Hyperion is a great example of this. And the pad that you're hearing is from Hyperion. Hyperion is from the mind of an engineer. He's an engineer who knows how to build a modular synth. And I love that about him, because he's like, this is what I know how to do, I'm gonna do it. So he did this, and you can see that it's almost like you can visually see a sound design, right? It's so deep, and it's so involved that almost like the possibilities are a little bit too overwhelming. However, I just want to showcase this pad because you can see right off the bat the subtleties that are making this sound as cool as it is. So we have this wave sequence, and what wave sequence is, it's like a whole, like a bunch of parallel wavetables, okay? And he has a LFO that is connected to this ADSR right here, but the LFO is controlling just the fine pitch of that wave sequence. And when you combine like modulation of a fine-tuned envelope with delay, it takes it to a whole nother dimension, because all of a sudden you're modulating the pitch, but then when it delays it, it's like would you, and you know what I'm saying? Like the sound field opens up because you're modulating the one frequency, taking it from a static frequency to a modulated frequency, and then you're delaying it and it multiplies it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that one little thing was where we need to start. We need to start there. Because when I play my guitar, I use my hand like this. And I'm like soloing, and I'm going, and I'm using vibrato. Yet if I have that through my microcosm or my polymoon, it's gonna, and it's gonna, the vibrato is gonna be heard, and then, you know what I'm saying? Multiplied and amplified. Anyway, that's a start. So make sure that at least some of your patches have a very small amount of vibrato or something on it that takes it from that static wave to a moving wave. That's baseline. That's the first level, right? Then we talk about this start position. So he's modulating the start position of his wavetable here, okay? And he's doing that with a slow moving, looks like sine wave, or maybe an ADSR, right? So he's moving that starting position to the wavetable, and it's going back and forth, and every time it gets pressed, it's shoom, and coming back down, okay? The Hydrasynth, what I love about the Hydrasynth, it has 5 different envelopes. Vital, you can have up to 8. I think Serum, you can have up to 8. So you can use the envelopes to trigger something else. Serum, you can also have looping LFOs, which is kind of cool too, which turns into like a whole different topic. We might get into it. All right, anyway, so he also has a second LFO here, which is a sample and hold. Sample and hold, as you know, is the randomized. Right, the sound of atoms, it becomes atoms of sound traveling through space. Exactly. Sample and hold, obviously the randomized modulator. If you slow down randomized modulation, it's gonna provide a texture, right? And if you slow down the values, especially in that Pigments video, I showed that I was using a sample and hold oscillator, and then I was changing the rise and fall to like 4 seconds. So it was almost like the one in Vital, right? It was like, you can slow it down. All right, anyway, let's get on with it, all right? I've also created a little, this is gonna be a ambient chill session. We're not just gonna do ambient. We're gonna turn it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna turn it up a notch. Another great synth that I really want to showcase here, as far as modulation goes, is Dune. Now, if you just take Dune, right, and you just like initialize the patch, here's what you get. It's just a saw wave, right? But look what happens when you give Dune to somebody like Echo Season, okay? Look at this. Look at this mod matrix. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's at least 20 slots that he's filled up. All of those slots are going to different voices, right? And they're like, you can set which voice you want it to go to. He's got velocity going to amp level. He's got LFO going to the fine-tuned pitch, which we just went over. He's got the mod wheel going to the cutoff, the mod wheel going to the wavetable position, the mod wheel going to the low cut, the LFO going to amp pan, like the panning. Listen to this. All right, this pad is called 200 million light years. How freaking appropriate is that on the 1111 portal? Ready? Now let's switch over to the mod wheel. Ready? You see what I'm saying? So all of that modulation in one pad. I love it. We should add that to our track. So just think about the mindset here. He's got multiple MSAGs, and look at this MSAG. And look at that one. Right? It's not even doing that much. I'll move it over here. Look, it's not even doing that much. But where is MSAG number 1 going? It's going to the wavetable position. So he's ever so slightly changing the wavetable position with this MSAG. You can't see that in Dune, but if you set it, you know it's there. You can hear it. Yo! It's about that time, right? Ministeri shows up. Okay, so speaking of Ministeri, what we have here is we have a bunch of drum hits that he gave me, Cameron gave me, and he told me to shorten them up. That's what I did. We got some Essentia drums, brother. So let's kick the gas in gear. All right, so we have, what do we have here? We have 200 million light years. 200 mil light years. How does it sound now? Can anybody tell me now? Because I'm like, I gotta make sure that I'm on point. All right. We'll just have that one come in every once in a while. Boom. I like that. There we go. Delete that. I'm good? All right, cool. Sweet. We'll turn that down. Okay. Let's see, what are we working at? We're basically gonna make hip hop in 111 BPM on this 1111 portal. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go back to the syllabus. So, using the modulation matrix to the full potential. We just talked about that because we showcased the best of the best. When you dissect patches, you can really understand why they used things the way they did. Echo Season is just unnaturally talented. So if you go to his website or you download some of his stuff that's on, you can go to Luck Drums Sound Design and check out his banks for it. Just dive in and then you'll learn, because he's showing you exactly the way, he's showing you the way without telling you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, Cameron had a great video on velocity the other day. It was a very simple video. It was like, here I am, let's sit down with the synth, and now we're gonna showcase what velocity can do. I have been straight up addicted to velocity lately, because velocity is the expressiveness in which you play. But it's like, it's one of those things that can really add character. But when you talk about ambient music, it's like that character slows down. So when you move slowly, the velocity is like almost like pressure. You know what I'm saying? Aftertouch, pressure, and velocity. And then Dash had a video yesterday about polyphonic MIDI, having MIDI expression inside of the notes themselves, right? All of these things are ultimately, the ultimate goal of these things in existence is to help you get better at ambient music, to help you bring out more expressiveness in your playing, which is ultimately what's going to create good quality music. All right? The next thing is modulate the modulators. You can modulate LFOs. LFOs can be used to modulate other LFOs. So your timing doesn't always have to be the same. Your timing can be modulated by a slow moving LFO, and as that LFO hits its peak, it can get fast. This, like LFO number 1 can be a slow one. LFO 2 can be a relatively fast one. But when LFO 1, if it's controlling the speed of LFO 2, when it reaches its peak, it's gonna get faster. And then when it reaches a slower than one, it's gonna get slower. You see what I'm saying? And if LFO1 isn't doing anything, then LFO2 is just moving fast and then moving slow. And then you could also set that up where you could draw different points, where you could say, all right, well, I could draw a random, or I could use a random modulator in Vital to modulate the speed. You see what I'm saying? All kinds of different ways you can do this. Like, just tip of the iceberg stuff, but that's what this is all about today. All right. I feel like I've talked a lot. We haven't really done much, but that's okay. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. As long as you guys are having fun and you're learning something, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. What was that beat I had? Let's get that. I'll just go with that. I'll start with that. Boom, boom. Turn this damn fucking thing off. All right, here we go. Boom. Here we go. There we go. Cool. We'll go with that. That's good. Cool. Nice. I want another drum hit right there. I want to add some reverb to it. Side note, Dash and Echo Season are the types of producers who make you want to quit, but also make you want to start creating more. That's kind of, I would say that's accurate. I don't think so though. I've never wanted to like quit just because I saw somebody else who was doing it better. That's always motivated me to get inspired and to do more. Like I always feel like whenever I'm looking up, that's like pure potential and energy for me. I'm like, yeah, well, wait a minute. How do I get there? I think it's my mindset is always like, no matter how good someone is, I always know that they started nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care whatever that is whatever that is. Let's go standard, and we're gonna go down to here. All right, we're gonna do some really cray Stoka's riff. You guys seeing this? Let's see how this works. I don't know. Is it gonna work? Let's see. That new play beat came out today. I wonder how that is. Stoka's. All right, cool. I'm just getting the track set up, and then we're gonna talk more about modulation. Give me a second. All right. Cool. And we'll take it up one octave. Let's go up. Ooh, close. We're almost there. Almost there. I like where this is going though already. There we go. Cool. Alright. The old automaton, you know. I love Stokers. Or that's just a rough thing in motion. Anyway, so let's actually build another patch from scratch. And what should we use? What should we use? Let's stay true to our syllabus here, though. Let that cook up in the background. I think one of the most important things that I said here today was modulation is all about creating depth and adding life to your ambient music. So let's just create a patch from scratch and really add like a life-filled like lead or something like that to this. You know what I mean? I'm saying? So let's go add a lead, and let's do that. Let's do that through Serum. All right, so Serum. Y'all know Serum? Hope so. There are a great many wavetables in here, and a lot of them are great starting points for just whatever. You could build anything. I was contacted by a friend of mine this morning who's like, yo, like, you want to do some presets for me in Serum? I'm like, fuck yeah, like, I love Serum. Serum rules. But I mean, immediately, like, if you just tell me, like, oh, make me a pad, I'm like, okay, you know, right? What do you do? How do you make a pad? How do you make a lead? How do you start? That's how everybody starts, right? They start with waves. So let's go further than that. Let's go to something else. Like, that could be cool, or that's a nice wavetable right there. All right. Now, one of the hidden features of Serum, I don't know if you guys know this, a lot of you know this, is that you can use the mod source as the Chaos 1 here. Chaos 1 isn't accessible on the front panel, but if you go here to Chaos 1, now look. Now we're modulating with Chaos 1, which is found over here hidden in the global settings. Okay? We can turn down the rate to really slow. We can BPM sync that and maybe make it like 8 bars. That's hella slow. All right, up the attack, up the release, turn on the sustain, give it a little decay. That's cool to me, right? Let's get a couple more voices. Now what you could do is you could actually modulate the detuning. That might actually give it a little life right there. So think about that, like little subtle touches, right? You can right click on anything in Serum and modulate that. So we can modulate that with another modulator. We could, you know what I'm saying? Let's do that with just, let's do it. Oh man. Okay. Okay, my mind is like, I'm like, oh, wow. We could do that a bunch of different ways. All right, so LFO1, we can use LFO1 to control the wavetable. Okay. I like that already. I like that already. All right. So let's do that. Let's use LFO1 to control the detuning. Not that much. Okay? Now let's use LFO2 to control the speed of LFO1. Like I was telling you, we can do that. All right, so let's do LFO2 to control the speed of LFO1. We'll do it on like 2 bars so we can kind of see it, basic, sine. And then in the mod matrix, we'll say LFO2 controls LFO1's rate. Is that gonna work? Oh yes. It works. It works. It works. It works. Now let's slow up LFO2 to like, I don't know, 8 bars or something. And look at LFO1. You see what I'm saying? Now watch this. It's gonna come back. There it goes. There it goes. You see what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Thorn's glitch sequencer. So Thorn is a freaking awesome synthesizer. Underrated. So just that subtle little trick. Think about how far you could take that. We've just modulated the speed of another LFO with another LFO. You can go as deep as you want with that. Right? Now, let's control this with an envelope. So we're gonna go like this, and we'll draw a nice little shape here. We'll zoom out, and we'll just do a simple ADR, and we'll go like this, and then we'll control the filter with that. Okay, okay. We still haven't gotten anywhere with the reverb, the effects yet, but still. Sorry, this is called the steering lead. All right. I like where this is going, and I like that it became a teaching moment. All right, let's turn up the delay and reverb. Is that a sub oscillator? So do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys understand? All these little touches. Now let's introduce the velocity. So velocity can, I mean, the obvious one is just throw it on the filter, right? Turn it down a little bit. So every time I hit harder, it's gonna open that filter up. If I hit less, it's gonna open it less. Simple, okay? Let's go further. Aftertouch to the filter cutoff, okay? Aftertouch. The pressure. Science of life goes crazy. Look. Right? Anyway, you guys get the point. Wait, what? There was an earthquake in San Francisco just now? How bad? I didn't feel it. Maybe I caused it. There was an earthquake in San. That's not no place to joke. Like when you. Oh, I'm the quake. I was like, I didn't feel shit. But this season that we're in right now, this is it. This is the kind of like vibe that the season brings. You know what I'm saying? Like early November is like vibes, like transformation vibes. Yeah, you got me. Dude, I lived through 89, bro. I lived through 89, and that was no joke. I was 11 years old. Today's 11/11. I was 11 years old, and it was like, I never heard anything like that before. It's crazy. All right, let's go further. Mod wheel. Let's go mod wheel. EchoSeats is also a great proponent of the mod wheel. So mod wheel can control, let's do wavetable position. Okay, mod wheel can control wavetable position. So we're gonna go mod wheel. Let's go oscillator A's wavetable position. All right, so pitch bend mod wheel. Okay. So now I'm modulating the wavetable position here. You see? that chat down. Sorry about that. All right. So again, more expression, more life. The mod wheel can control. We didn't even do the pitch, so we can do the pitch. So this fine pitch can be controlled by, actually that LFO1 might be nice. So let's try that. Let's do the fine pitch, right click, mod source, and go LFO1, and turn it down. And now that super cool LFO that we made that goes slow and fast based on the other slow LFO is controlling the fine pitch of the triangle. Let's modulate the wavetable position also with Chaos 2. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. When I spoke to Dash, I had this thought, like, to be a good ambient music producer, you have to think like a psytrance producer, but do it slowly. You see what I'm saying? You gotta think like somebody who's gonna do trance music, but you're doing ambient music. So you're doing it slowly. Let's slow that chaos modulator down. Chill, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Scott, you got the best. That's the best right there. Pick up Dash's master class and you're all set, because you can apply the same principles just like I did to apply the same technique and put it into a different context, which is slow down, chill out, and you just take the tempo down. That's it. Take the tempo down. One time we were doing a stream, and we were doing something like it, like 130 or something, and Cam's like, just take it down half, or like do half, like instant CBL, and it was like crazy how fast it went from like Signs of Life to CBL. All right, anyway, let's not lose focus on our syllabus here. This was a great example. Let me save this patch before my computer crashes. I want a new folder. I know, right? What should I call this? What should I call this patch? Moment. All right, cool. Boom. All right, cool. So look how full our mind matrix is already. We've already done a bunch of stuff to this. My favorite touch that we did was that fine pitch movement on the LFO controlled by another LFO to create a wow 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 wow. I love that. We didn't even talk about doing different LFO shapes. You can go all kinds of different LFO shapes here. You can add a noise oscillator to it. This is not a serum tutorial, but this is a modulation tutorial. Also, the curve of the velocity matters. So this velocity curve right here can be like really slow and chilled out, or super fast and steep. So however, it's like how drastic that modulation curve is. So if you slam the keys, if you have the modulation curve like this, it's not gonna do it. But if you go up like this, it's gonna be really touchy. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that. Renee, you're absolutely welcome. These live transmissions are a very special time for me to reach out to the community and do what I do. I've been deep in the production of my new album, which is now done. So I'm like the phoenix. The phoenix rises and it emerges a phoenix. That's what it is. Data Broth, what's up, brother? Thank you for all you do too. All right, so let's talk about this. Speaking of modulation, Data Broth in the house. So like, modulation is all about creating depth and adding life to your ambient music. That's what we did with the serum patch. I'm just gonna leave this up and do this. I mean, listen to the life we have in here now. That pad to me kind of grips me like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really got it's got vibes, okay? Start with simple modulation targets and work there. I'm speaking simply so you guys can understand. Start with simple modulation targets. Target the filter, target the pitch, target like the wavetable position, and just go from there and see how far you can go. Once you dive down that rabbit hole, you're not coming back. And that's a good thing, because when you go down the rabbit hole, that's it. You're down, you're done. You see what I'm saying? And then what can take you from Steve Roach, there's not too many steps in between. You're like, oh damn, all I gotta do is just go from here to here to here, and then there you are, right? So in essence, what I'm doing is I'm communicating to you guys who are out there who haven't done it yet. Make your own record and build up your own reputation so you can be an esteemed ambient music producer like me. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's one step after another, but it starts in the sound design phase. It starts here, where you craft your sound. You're building and you're crafting. So what takes it from I'm on a record label to like I'm just releasing on SoundCloud, which we all don't like? It's not that far. You just have to like, it's a couple more refinements that will take you to that next tier. And once you reach that next tier, there's no going back. You're like, I can't design a patch anymore with just a simple filter. I can't design a patch anymore that just, I can't even use a preset anymore because I don't understand how it was made. Then it's almost like cooking. You can't go out to a restaurant because you're like, damn, I don't like the food because I can make it myself. This stuff takes time, so I know that I'm like shouting in the mic, but it takes time to develop a taste level, because taste level and talent level are two different things. But when they meet, that's when magic happens. That's when you start creating really magical material, when your taste level meets your talent level, and those two things combine. And that's why we only release high quality stuff on our labels, because we know that when a listener hits play on a track, they're like, it's got to be quality, and they can tell. Even if you don't even know what it is, you know it's quality. Everyone has an intuitive sense. So as a producer, step back from what you're doing and say, where is this? Is it good? Is it not good? How do I get to the next tier? Take Dash's masterclass, you'll get to the next tier. Join Cameron's Buckaroony Babes, you go to the next tier. You see what I'm saying? Like, next level shit. I said Buckaroony Babes on stream. That's a first. I learned a new word too from Cam this morning, Chugaluga. Chugaluga right along here. Anyway. I think what I just said, what I just kicked down the past 5 minutes was more about the end goal. What's the end goal of the sound design? If the end goal is to do a certain thing, then make that your goal and start designing sounds to help you reach that goal, okay? Southern Swamp Talk. All right, let's add a sequence to this track. Let's add a sequence. All right, I have been adding sequences a whole variety of ways. My favorite way is the old standby classic, which is just to draw it in. I just love to do that. Why? Because I feel like I'm connected to the process itself. I feel like it's like a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because if I take my sign and I put the sign on there, you instantly get vibes. But it doesn't really. I mean, it can be cool like in little spurts. Listen. Good. Exactly. Taste versus talent level. You know what I'm saying? Just a simple sine wave. I also think giving space to the music itself and giving, like, making sure that you have enough space is really important. Whether we like it or not, we all recognize the sine wave because inherently everything is sine waves. So when you hear a sine wave, you're like, damn, like it sounds like familiar, like it's an old friend, it's an old face. Like you know a sine wave because everything is sine waves. And if it goes even further, I'm not gonna go down that. I'm not gonna go there. I was gonna talk about the universe and how it's all freaking sine waves, and we probably all started in a sine wave, and the whole shit just kicked off, like, you know what I'm saying, zeros and ones, and boom, binary code sound came first, then come light. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go hella far with that. I like the way that interplay between the bass note and the sine wave, though. I'm just jamming. I'm gonna jam for a little bit. Exactly. The Big Bang was just a side trance kick being synthesized. That's all it is. So, one kick, right? And then it's like the ripple effect of that goes, and then bang. It's possible, right? God spoke the universe into existence? No, he designed it with a sine wave. I think we're at a point now, though, where like we're over wondering. We're totally over the whole wondering of like, oh, what is life beyond this? What are we all here for? What are we all doing here? Like, forget about it. Like, we crossed over. And so now, what do we do with that? And as we move on into the next, I'd say 4 or 5 year cycle, the important thing is to put value into what you do, right? It's gonna be all about this. Like this past 18 months has been all about communication. We got the ideas out, we're here now. You know what I'm saying? Like we've now communicated what our ideas are. We now communicated what we want and what we wanna see. And now, as we move into this next cycle of 18 months, think about Think about how you can really put the value into it. I bought a freaking $60 mic cable to try to fix that. It didn't fix it. But every time I have to say something deep, then the mic goes out. I don't know. Think about how you can put like the best possible value into what you do. And that goes really far. It goes into everyday interactions. It goes into the things that you do every day. It goes into what you're putting in your body. It goes into like, right? Because what we're really gonna do is we're gonna come back to a place where, yeah, it's all about the senses. And so these senses do have to do with your hearing and your body and your mind and what you do every day, okay? So the knowledge is here now. The tools are here now. Everything that you need is here now. Do what you can with that and make the most of it and start building something that means something, that's worth something to you. The stream might end because my freaking mic is dying as we speak. Do something that is worth something to you. And that's what will be valuable to not only us as collectively, but yourself. Like your own personal value will translate and multiply, and the collective will be, you know, yeah. The mic is dying, dude. Let me see if I can turn off the Notice how it randomly died. Like it died at the most unfortunate moment. Like I was just trying to like kick some knowledge about the nodal shift, and then bam, mic dies. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I don't know. If it does, you know. I just bought a Mogami Gold cable. Like I bought a new cable. Mogami Gold. I was like, it's perfect. It's gonna be great. And then the mic dies again. Yeah, solder points inside the XL eventually go. They are loose and then that kind of stuff. I know. I think it's time for a new mic. I'll keep the cable. I'll get a new mic. And I'll save this mic for like when I'm recording like guitars and stuff. If I ever record guitars and stuff. It's a good mic. I mean, what I don't like about it is it's like the polar pattern is like this, but like it kind of has a rear polar pattern. I'd rather have like a Shure like SM7 that has just one pattern that comes straight out. So, you know, Wave Sequencer's here. Check it out. Our first pad came from you. I took out the hyperverb and I put, you know, Valhalla in there, but I was teaching how this pad is very simple and this patch is very simple, yet the whole modulation thing. This was the first example used, just a fine-tuned thing, and when you multiply that through delay, then you get something much larger. And you have a sine wave here that's connected to this ADSR, so the ADSR is being triggered by the sine waves, blah, blah, blah. It's just, the whole thing is just, it's a simple system, yet it works. Anyway, use sine waves instead of the mic. Interesting. But notice how though, when I took off the main camera, when I went back to stream, like the mic is fine now. So what is the connection there? Because when I went back to this, how delayed is my stream? Oh my God. When I went back to like just this view, the mic's fine. But when I was speaking directly to the camera with the camera on, the mic dies. What's that all about? Weird, right? Anyway. All right, let's design a pluck. Let's design a pluck. This is gonna be the pluck for our sequence. Okay, when we have serum here. I hope Andrew shows up. I hope he shows up, man. We can talk space, talk microcosms. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm not gonna continue until I'll be right back. All right. You know what I think I gotta do with the mic? I just thought of it. I should stop fucking with this condenser mic and just get a dynamic mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, why even have the phantom power thing in me anyway? Just get a dynamic mic. It just works. Just boom, boom. All right. Anyway, let's assign a pluck. So plucks, obviously, to get more life into your plucks, you're gonna want to use velocity. And velocity is that ear candy I've been talking about, like candy for the ear, because your ear can sense when things change, right? It can sense when things start moving around. But if you have something that's static with no velocity and it's just the same all the way across, you're gonna hear that. But if you start modulating different things with velocity and you trigger the different velocity points to do different things, then it's gonna sound like it's actually like growing and it's building and it's doing all this kind of stuff. So let's talk about that. We have the velocity curve here. We can obviously set the velocity to control the filter. Let's just do a simple like pluck thing. Okay, bum bum bum. Take the sustain out. That's like a starting point. That's like baseline, and then okay, and then the velocity will control the filter. Watch this. So however hard I hit the. But see, here's where this velocity curve really matters. Right now it's linear, so it's just straight up. But if we just do this and kind of give it a nice like. You really got to hit it harder to get up the, it's almost like it's steeper. So you got to get up to the top. You see what I'm saying? And that's just baseline level. So now we can start doing this. We can start taking it to another LFO and we can modulate the filter with that and then go like this. And now we go like this and make it 8 bar. So as it reaches the peak, coming back down. You see what I'm saying? So we're designing something that's gonna have like, you know, a little bite to it. Now, this is just a sawtooth wave, but you know, you can take the fine pitch and you can make a boom like this, you know what I'm saying? So like, let's do that. And we're gonna go like this and make it like, I don't know, an 8th vibrato, and then take this down and like that. Okay. Oh my God, is that still going? I like that sine wave just kind of kicking in the background. I don't know what it is, but I just heard that and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. We'll do that every 4 bars. Let's just do that. Boom, boom, boom. Just subtle touch, subtle touch. And then we'll play it. All right, anyway. Boom. That's it, that's it. Yeah, that's it, that's it. Yeah. See how that sine wave just comes in every 4 bars, but you don't, it's so subtle that it's like, and now we can design our pluck around that. So think about this. Think about simple, like 1 bar stuff or 2 bar stuff. Right? So it's like it can that simple 1, 2, 3, 4 can start evolving. Now what if we change the velocity? Okay? Now we have 4 different levels of velocity, which we could have randomized that. But do you see how the filter's moving? Right? The filter is moving with that velocity change. Okay? Now listen. see what I'm saying? Your brain can hear that. It's like, oh, it's changing. Michael, aka the Cube, I am going to do something like that. I have a big. Let me just say this right now. Next week sometime, I think it's gonna be next week, I'm gonna drop a huge announcement. So if you're watching YouTube and you're on here, just watch for it, because I'm gonna drop something really big, and it's gonna be in the spirit of the season. It's gonna be transformational. I wanted to do it today, but the Star Terra stuff is just... Oops, I said what I was with. Anyway, it's a lot. Now, one thing we could do, how do you trigger randomized velocities? So every single time that it goes through that, how does it become a different random velocity value? Can you do that inside of Ableton itself with an LFO or something? I don't think you can do that. This is a question I have for the collective, because I can't just sit here and click on this randomize button. But damn, wouldn't that be cool if every single time that we played this sequence, we got different velocities? Wouldn't that be cool? You could use the random on Vital, yes. Can we use the chaos modulator in Serum? I'm talking about the velocities of the values itself. In Chaos 1, controlling oscillator A's or global L, no. No. Serum has note random as well. There's a random velocity thing in Ableton, but I'm saying, how do you trigger it? I mean, not besides the press. Like, can we trigger that somehow? Because I'm doing it on the fly. I know, but how do I make it so this button can be pressed every 2 bars or something? That's what I want. That would be cool though, right? Should I Google it? Change the range below. Oh, so is it doing it? Is it doing it now that I've changed the velocity range? It is, yeah? It is. Okay, so the range is it's modulating that. So let's go even higher. It randomizes within the range for you. Thank you, Deep Submicron. You answered my question. So look, we could put the velocity all down to 0 and then have velocity range up at max. That's the answer. The answer is putting all your values at 0 and then having the velocity range and the randomize as high as it can go. That's the answer. That's it. No, we got it. We got it. Because now we're saying 1 to 127 modulate anywhere in between that range, and velocity at randomize is at 127, which means that's the max. See how it's different every time? We did it. Thank you, Deep Sub. That's so handy. That brings another point though. Like, think about that. Now we're changing the velocity every single time. I'm dying to hear what this track sounds like at 96 beats per minute. Oh my god, it's still unsafe. So, this is cool. This is cool. I like this. All right. All right, we're gonna copy this and duplicate it out. Play this one. That's a nice one. Duplicate it again. And then we'll play this one. This thing needs to be a little faster. Now we're getting musical with it. That's it right there, right? That's what I wanted. Yes, yes. Back to the original one. And then we'll copy that again. Cool. And then as you guys know, you can do whatever you want as far as triggering these. Like you can trigger these in any different order that you want. You can trigger them linearly, you can trigger them in different sequence order, but we've kind of like, look at our range here. We've done all these little notes here. I love that last one. I'm gonna do one more, hold on. That's cool. No, there's one note's wrong. No. That's pretty cool. We're just bouncing notes off each other. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so anyway, what you do here is you select them all and then you go into the clip editor and then you click follow action and you click any. And then you play. $100% of the time. Nice. That's it right there. Got it. Sweet. All right. So let's how long have we been online? I don't know. Anyway, fuck, what a session, man. What a session. Oh, you know what I didn't even cover? You can control, oh, Dash is out? Yo, Dash, I love you, bro. Thank you for everything. I will talk to you soon. Yeah. Waveform, you will not stop talking about that. Dash, you're the best, man. All right, so Dash is out. Let's wrap this up. So, modulation is all about creating depth and adding life to your ambient music. Don't give up, because a lot of this stuff it takes time to develop a sense of it. Like, what I want to do, how do I want to do it? Like, what can really be the most effective way for me to take my music up there? Well, it starts again in the sound design phase, but it really comes down to trying to push yourself further and trying to pull more life out of these synthesizers, which essentially at the start are lifeless, right? A basic patch of synthesizer just bzzz. We don't operate on that frequency. Human beings operate on a frequency of like really intense, like nuance. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you can pull that out and then translate that in a musical sense, that's what's going to make good music. Some of the best music that you hear that is played by real world instruments is the ones who can do it super expressively. And not only that, I get asked the question a lot, do you need to know 5,000 chords to be a good guitar player? Absolutely not. Some of the best guitar players out there do not use complicated chords, nor do they use like crazy arrangements and sequences. Sometimes they just play like 6 chords or 4 chords, but they play it in such a way where it sounds so polished and so human. So that's what you're really trying to do, is you're trying to bring a human quality to your synthesizing or whatever, synthesis, but not in a, I mean, if alien life form is your goal, then that's the thing. If you want to build like a crazy, I've been doing this a lot in the new record, is like building stuff that sounds like alien signals, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get crazy with the modulation. But if you want to give something that has what we hear now, just some very simple, like, you know what I mean? That, you see what I mean? I just pulled the filter down and added resonance. Do you hear what that did? That's what I'm talking about. Those little tiny touches that make listening to your music so much more enjoyable. You're playing with harmonics. You're playing with the everything that's about it. You see what I'm saying? 3 chords and the truth. Yeehaw. Do you see what I mean? That's the difference. The difference is it doesn't need to be complicated, but it does need to have that touch, that humanistic element. The element that we can all feel. And that's what aesthetic is. That's what taste level is. That's what takes you to the next tier. Don't give up, all right? You're gonna get there. Focus on your end goal with the sound design or track and your ultimate goal. That's really where you're trying to go, all right? I hope this live stream made sense to you. I hope that the things that I said, I know I was animated. I know we had sound problems at the beginning, but at the same time, I'm trying to communicate to you guys ways that you can get beyond where you are now. So tier here, next tier. Always evolving, ever growing. Again, we have a live premiere on Sunday. Come check us out. We have wonderful communities on Discord. Each one of us has all these, communities. I got some Fair Records. We got the Deep End. We got Dash's his own thing. I have a big announcement coming next week. This is the time, you guys. We are headed towards a lunar freaking eclipse. Like, take this time to say to yourself, this is where I'm at. Here's where I'm going. Move forward from there, right? This is the transformation. We passed through this season from October 20th to November 20th. We passed through this season like, this is it. This is the big change before we go out into the world, right? The cocoon. The cocoon is not always comfortable. It's sometimes a little rough, but it's ultimately for your own good. That's the thing, is if you remember that all this stuff is for your own good. It's for the benefit of who you are. And if you can take that to heart, if you can realize and accept the transformation, then the transformation becomes real. All right, anyway, I think I've said enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a really enjoyable thing. I love doing this. And like I said, the reason why I've been absent is because I've been going through my own transformation process with my own music. Change is the fundamental constant. That's right. I've been going through my own transformation, personal transformation, and I just gotta focus. I gotta focus. So I focus, I do this, I'm here, I'm not going away. This is real. I want to thank you for all your support that you've shown me on the Signs of Life channel. It's huge. It's transforming me in a major way, and I'm so excited for the future. All right? There's so many people here, I can't even name them all. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for all the love. Truly, truly appreciate it. I ride on this high wave. I'm like, yeah. That's where I want to be. I want to stay here. What goes up must come down, but at the same time, if you keep building and you keep pushing yourself onwards, you're only gonna get better. You're only gonna grow and evolve. It's only gonna get better from here. So, cheers to everyone out there. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you very soon. I'll be back. Trust me. This is only just the beginning. My name is Chris from Signs of Life. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.